the engagements with oil and gas companies without violating the sanctity of the contract. And we're now crafting a framework for the future where more of the proceeds of the industry will come to our people and be used beneficially for our people. Now, today, you're hearing them say, oh, give every Guyanese X amount of money. They want us to now share more money to every Guyanese from the oil and gas sector that we have not even received as yet. But that's old and new philosophy, and it sounds attractive. I've heard even some of our own people mention this, saying, oh, why don't you do that? Well, if we do that, we have to borrow to give out money again. And we cannot consume every cent that we receive. We have to spend the money to build the future. And that is why we made it clear in our manifesto when we campaigned between 2015 to 2020. We said that the money will be spent on education, on healthcare, and on infrastructure and assistance to the industries, non-oil industries. These are the 4 areas that the bulk of the resources will be spent on, so that we don't eat up every cent we earn now, that we can plan for the future, that this country will be prosperous 10 years, 20 years, 30 years into the future, and not suffer like some countries have suffered, where when they receive money from the oil and gas sector and they spend all of it out, and when the oil goes or the prices fall, they have huge amounts of poverty, or things start falling apart in their economy.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Hello there, namaste to you, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Lall Show. We trust and hope that you had a very good Easter season, because we were not here with you on Friday nor on Monday, but of course we hope that you would have listened to those rebroadcasts that we'd have played for you. The Lall Show comes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 19 hours 20. We're a motto where we tell it as it is, and we have been doing this for quite a while, and we hope that you have been enjoying our programs. Remember, you can call us during our program after Mr. Lall's presentation on 226-745-324, or you can WhatsApp us or SMS us, or even call us on WhatsApp on 622-2222. With that said, I hand you over to the man of the moment. Sir, welcome back, and the floor is yours. Namaste.
Namaste, Josh. Namaste, all Guyana, all our listeners in Guyana and around the world. Joshua? Yes, sir. Before I begin tonight's presentation, I just want to make a little comment on something that upsets me tonight. I saw a video sometime last week on a gentleman who kick and cuff his child, and it made the hair on my skin grow, and I asked myself, if this day and age these things still happen. Today, this afternoon, before I come onto the program, I looked at another video depicting a husband in Region 2, somewhere in Pomeroon, kicking, cuffing, and beating his young wife like an animal. I just looked at a little piece of it, and I couldn't stand it. I said, Miss Harris, these things send your blood pressure up, and I feel like there shouldn't be laws in this country for things like that. You don't need to charge people. You don't need to put people before the courts. You need to deal with men like that. With men.
Like that.
You know, you must give them the treatment, the same treatment they give to these women. You treat them just like that from a man's perspective. Ms. Harris,
I couldn't agree more.
you care to comment on it a little? This thing it is becoming too prevalent
It's a cancer and sickness
in our
our
society,
country.
man.
Like the case with the young lady that left the partner, the 19-year-old, and then she ended up getting stabbed in her neck on her birthday. Then this incident with the businessman and his whole family came out to defend him. That was the scary part. That was one of the scariest parts of the whole thing. And it just goes to show how much violence is normalized in our society. You know, you have unruly children, what do? Beat them. You have a wife, you don't agree with what she's doing, beat her. You know, that it's just something that needs a lot of attention. I think the women's rights groups, the human rights organizations, these are things that are in their remit to deal with. Where are the statements condemning this? The police commissioner, Mr. Hicken, had a briefing with the police officers, and he was encouraging them to be professional when they're dealing with domestic violence. But how can you tell the people to be professional? Have you trained them?
I know.
Have you provided the right facilities and equipment for them to be able to respond? What are the women in our society supposed to do? Is this how we're supposed to continue living?
It's sad though.
I would just encourage anybody who is in a situation like this to seek help in whatever format. Find somebody and seek help. It's not right for anybody to be living like that.
You guys can call it Kaieteur News too.
Yes.
I and my people would be willing
Yep.
to go after these stories to see what help we can give by exposing the treatment.
There's the
You know,
Ghana.
Miss Harris, a girl came to me one day and said she just came from the police station. She went to report that her husband slapped her. The slap ring her ear, that she felt dizzy.
Yeah.
She couldn't stand it, and she went to the station. And there was a female corporal that tells she, look, girl, go home back, yeah? You get a slap and you come for report your husband, go home back. And had the entire station office, all the policemen and men that were there were laughing at her. She said, Mr. Lall, I felt so
Crazy.
bad.
Yeah.
You know, I felt so insulted, so degraded,
Exactly.
that I felt like if I did a wrong
Yeah.
by going to report this matter to the
See,
police.
that's the next part of the problem, because the victim is victimized even more by the police who's supposed to serve and protect. That's their motto, to serve and protect.
It's sad. It's sad. Guys, if this thing continue, feel free to call us.
What will become of our
A matter of fact, you don't have to call us. If you can have your neighbor, or let me talk to the neighbors and the friends. If you guys know of these type of ill treatment, this manhandling of wives and aunts and mommy, come on, call and report it. If you get no satisfaction with the police, you can call us.
Come to the media.
Come to the media, and we will help you.
Yep.
With that, Ms. Harris,
Let's say namaste.
Joshua, I say namaste to all the listeners. A man calling and tell my security to tell me how I mustn't take on all them things that has been taken on, Josh. You know what I'm saying? No. He said, man, just take on a few. Some. You know? And when the security told me that, I had to laugh. You know, I couldn't help but laughing. You know, Ms. Harris, the different departments of the newspaper, Kaieteur News had an Easter contest.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, every section had a staff with a cross, either on their shoulders or on their backs. One in particular had 50% royalty, full cover insurance, ring fencing, 2% and we taxes. Bernard, how do you stay quiet on just those few things? People fetching out your wealth in a wholesale fashion, leaving you in danger, throwing pittance at you, leaving you in debts, that would leave you in debts, and to the wolves, not even paying the basic, bro. Every human being pays on earth.
And they're boasting to the world.
Not even paying the basic thing, taxes. How do you not take on your leaders who are supposed to check and verify every single cent your partner is spending in a 50-50 business, Bernard? Why are you allowing your partner to set a time limit which you have to check his bills and you sharing half and half profit, Bernard? Which moron?
Our leaders, those are the morons.
Which moron would allow that, run a business like that with their family? Did I say namaste? All right, let me say it back again. Namaste, guys. Tomorrow, the Kaieteur News is carrying a story in which a U.S. company came here to Guyana and did a poll on oil and gas. They found out that 98%, Bernard, 98% of the population doesn't know anything what's going on in this country.
Wow, 98%
Of the population in Guyana knows nothing what is going on in the oil and gas industry.
Wow.
That is why the leaders get away with it.
Only 2%.
Wow.
Ms. Harris, no wonder why ExxonMobil give me 2%.
Yep.
If 98% knows nothing, then 2% knows.
They don't
Maybe
care.
that is why
We get 2%.
you get Exxon realize only 2% know and give Guyana 2%. If your leaders who's supposed to be educating you on what is going on is ducking and hiding from you, yes, who elect them, then what else can I say, Miss Harris? Huh? Let me give another namaste for tonight, man. With a smile. Yes, a smile. I sat down chatting with a young man, explaining to him what is royalty and profit sharing 2 days ago. Miss Harris, I missed the Monday night program. And I said, you know what? This is a young man going to UG. And I said, I should give a little tickle once again to the Guyanese nation. You know? Explaining a little about this royalty and profit sharing. So allow me a moment, please. Profit sharing sounds very simple, and it should be simple. Uncle? Yes, it sounds simple and it should be simple. Two people picking mangoes, sell the mangoes, take out their expenses, and bust the profit half and half. Isn't that simple, man?
Very
Yes. However, Miss Harris, that is not the way profit sharing is done in the oil sector. And I began explaining royalty to the young man. Royalty, again, uncle, is an amount you demand for your product. And royalty comes with no cost, uncle. So if you settle for 25 mango out of every 100, then the man got to drop off that in your house every day, 25, with no expenses, nothing less. And let me repeat, it's the queen set royalty. You got to pay the royal family. If you go in any of she country and take she wealth, she decides at the minimum she set that at 12.5% and up for she mango, she gold, she diamond, she oil or whatever, bauxite, whatever. She set that money. I told the kid, the whole world follow the Queen's 12.5% and up. A matter of fact, USA just changed their royalty to 18.5% from that 12.5%. But these clowns we have here, smarter than the whole world, Bernard. Them settle for how much? 2%.
2%.
Yes. Trotman signed the contract and Jagdeo not changing it, although he can. Them hiding the gold, diamond and bauxite contracts. Maybe they settle for nothing or minus 2% royalty, Bernard. That's why they're hiding the contract. So the foreigner is fetching out your resources free. And the man tell me, hear what the man tell me, Glenn, you have to go, you have to let go of some of them things. That's what the man tell my security guard to tell me. How do you not talk about these things, man? Huh?
He's part of the 98%.
Oh, no, he listens to the radio and he see the fight that I'm carrying and he said, man, let go of some of the things. He's sorry for me. So I'm asking, how do you let go of these things, you know? Joe Biden demanding a higher rate of royalty for his people because he realized the people who are taking out the wealth is getting too much for themselves. Yes. And the people that own the wealth is being shafted. What our leaders doing here? They're afraid to ask for we own thing in we own country, Miss Harris. Yep. Is either cat gone with a tongue or the aisle people fix it to suit them and not we the people who own this wealth. Exactly. You agree with me, girl?
100%.
Yeah, man. Yes, because they're not saying anything. The profit sharing aspect of the oil contract, what the leaders boasting about, that have 99% of the Guyanese jumping for joy, is not as simple as buying and selling mangoes, uncle. No. It's not as simple after you take out your expenses. It's not that simple. The contract terms, yes, the oil contract terms, the agreement between Guyana and the oil companies, that is what you have to understand, Miss Harris. Yes, you have to understand it to know what is for you in this whole oil industry. As someone who born and grew in business, I could tell all of Guyana, when the oil is finished, Miss Harris, I'm telling all Guyana, when this oil is finished, Guyana will be in more debts than you could ever dream of.
Exactly.
And no one can dispute me on this. Nope. I recall many days, I don't know what exactly the government officials used to tell Adam Harris. Yes, I don't know what they used to tell Adam Harris. You hear me? About profit sharing. But honestly, he used to drive me crazy in this office. And I would tell him many days, Adam, you're a journalist. Stick to writing stories you know about. And don't write about business because you don't understand business. And please tell those leaders to call Glenn Lall when they want to talk about business. Not one of them, uncle, ever call Glenn Lall. Because you know why, Miss Harris? They can't talk to Glenn Lall with them crap they would full in Adam Harris' ears and head. No. You know, I just have a bag. Adam used to send me that crazy, you know. in the editorial meeting on a daily basis? Man, we got to tell Adam, calm down, relax, take it easy. Because the politicians full in their head with, yes. And these guys believe the politicians more than Glenn Lall. You know? It's a while after took him to say, you know what, hey boss, you're right, you know.
Right, you have a point.
Yes. Uncle, please allow me to explain this half and half or 50-50 profit sharing arrangement that our government signed on to with ExxonMobil in the simplest of fashion. Me spend, and this is what the contract says, right? Me spend $100 today to pick mangoes in your field. Then I sell the mangoes. You don't know how much I sell the mangoes for? Of course, Miss Harris, you gotta take out the $100 I spend as expenses, then profit to be shared after it's sold, right? You have to take out the $100 that I spend.
Yeah.
Well, no. Here the catch. Here the catch. Here the evil. Here the wicked. Here the connivingness with the Exxon contract and the oil. Right? Here the catch. I am not allowed to take out the whole $100 that I spend. You hear that? I am only allowed to take out up to 75%, which is $75, then share profit.
Yep.
Now, why I'm not taking out, or why I'm not allowed to take out the whole $100 expense? Uncle, because if I take it out, then there will be nothing to share. There will be no profit.
Exactly.
You hear that?
Yep.
So what becomes of the $25 that left back there? Ms. Harris? That gone into tomorrow expense. So come tomorrow, I spend another $100. That $25 will come from yesterday. You gotta add to today. So you got into $125. Then you have to take out, when you don't sell, you have to take out only up to 75% out of the $125. Then profit a share. So what happened to the remainder that left back there again? Gone over to the other day. So every day you keep going over and over and over. So at the end of the project, what happens, Ms. Harris? You get a little profit and you still owe on the oil company then. Yes. And this is the 50-50 profit sharing. Yes, them boasting about. What is there to boast about, Bernard?
Nothing. That's which is what we get in. Crumbs. Crumbs.
Them can't take out them expenses because Guyana got nothing to get. And none of our leaders, especially Jagdeo, the ex-president of Guyana, the financial guru of the region, is not checking these expenses. Did not use Lisa Tree. Did not use Yellowtail, therefore, to correct this insanity. He did not demand that the people pay their fair share of taxes. He did not demand insurance yet, no ring fencing, no time limit to audit them books. Didn't negotiate for a better deal, although he could have, you know. He keep approving these projects like if his candies he's sharing out in this land to little children. The 5th project, Uncle and Auntie, ExxonMobil done send in their application to him for approval again. Yes. This one, Guyana will get nothing and he will sign it off just like how Donald Ramotar and Robert Prasad signed away the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks worth billions of US dollars. Worth more than all Guyana's debt at present. Yes, and turn back and say, well, they never see and meet the people who they give it to. Yes. That's what Jagdeo will do with the 5th project. He'll just sign it away. Give it again. Give away 3, give away 4, now give away 5. Yeah. And gets nothing. As long as I give a goatee in Lall, na? I'm beginning to feel that way, you know. Every day. But I want the people to get it. I want them to understand that this thing will be an ongoing issue in which we can correct and get big money.
Exactly.
Uncle and Auntie, you guys need to stay focused and understand. You hear what the people that did the poll said? Only 2% of the whole population in Guyana understand a little bit about the oil and gas. 98% knows nothing. That same 98% is what ExxonMobil running away with, leaving the 2% with us.
Wow.
Yes. Remember, we get 2%, so 98 them got it.
Yeah.
This is how the leaders of this country running your affairs. I wonder if Jagdeo and Trotman will sell out their houses and other properties and venture into a 50-50 profit sharing arrangement with ExxonMobil and take a $10 from Exxon as profit when the year comes. Can I ask the question to them? Because why are you doing that to the Guyanese people with our assets? Getting nothing from it. And when you can change these things, you're not doing anything. Like one guy said today, Bernard, or you told me something, that Jagdeo has a mouth open when he's talking about, when he's cussing down the APNU and the AFC. But when you ask the man about oil and gas, this man get turned like a church mouse. Come on, man. Exxon taking out up to 75%. And they use the term cost recovery, Miss Harris. Hear that? Them taking out up to 75, you listen to the word? Up to 75%. And they use the term cost recovery. Spending money in the billions, and this intelligent, bright, smart man named Bharat Jagdeo not asking a question or checking anything.
Wow.
So I have this simple question for all of you. Who the oil out there belong to, man? You are not protected from any disaster. You are not getting any taxes. And you getting nothing. Where are you going to find the answer for me, man? Could you call me? You know, I talk about taxes there, Ms. Harris.
Yeah.
I sat down with my lawyers last night, going through, responding to some of the issues raised with ExxonMobil, by ExxonMobil in the tax case with me against the government. And ExxonMobil, Alastair Rutledge, got the nerve, you know. This white man got the nerve to say that Lall does not have the right to go to his court in his country to defend the tax giveaway my government gave away to the oil companies.
And doesn't give the
Man, I find that Mr. Rutledge offensive, rude, and disrespectful
organization
to not only Lall, but to every Guyanese.
around the world.
To tell me I don't have the right to move to my own court in my own country.
Exactly.
That my government break the rules, regulations, and laws of this country to give away taxes, give away me, give away you, my oil, plus my taxes, and I must go to the court?
Exactly.
How
How dare you?
dare you, man? Christ. You can't talk, bro.
What gives him the right?
Buddy,
Into our court.
Rutledge, let Glenn Lall tell you this. I will be the one to keep behind all of you behind on everything that's going on in this country. And I'll do it until I breathe the last breath in this body. If nobody else is going to stand up and stand against you people for what you're doing to the people of this country, including me, with my resources, you think again. You, ExxonMobil, Sinnock, Hess, and everyone, you think again, including Jagdeo and Compton Norton. You think again. Bernard, I don't like to work up myself, I don't work up myself. Miss Harris, it's so damn rude.
It is. How does he have the right? And he's telling us.
You got to hear more other things to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to do a special program on that.
Exactly.
Right? But I want to hurt my feelings, man.
Yeah.
Touch my bone. I mustn't go to court.
Wow.
Like you own this country. You own these resources. Huh? You can come and do what you want and don't pay me taxes, man. Come on.
Bareface.
Come on.
Banditry.
Man, if you take out, like I was talking about the 75%, up to 75% they can take out, Miss Harris. If you take out all the expenses, when the day come, the man has nothing to get. You don't have to go to school or be in business to understand that. That is the trap the oil company put Guyana in. And these clowns we have for leaders silent. You catch me, Bernard?
Yes.
If the oil company them for any year take out all the expenses they have, Guyana has nothing to get.
That is deliberately.
This is why they set it in such a way that they can only take out up to 75% of the cost of the expenses. They call it cost recovery, right? So the 25% is thrown over to the other year. And then the other year, we would have spent again, keep throwing over to the other year. Yes. Only yesterday, we carried a story in the Kaieteur News a friend sent to me, in which Rex Tillerson used to be the head of ExxonMobil, left and gone. Yes, he left and gone and worked with Donald Trump as Secretary of State. He told the American diplomats around the world, Miss Harris, like we U.S. ambassador here, that human rights must not stand in the way of American interests. Which means, uncle, to hell with what happens in your country. You could kill each other, you could massacre each other, rape, prostitute each other, violate the people of the country's rights in any way, shape, or form? Yes. They just don't care. Once they can get their money to satisfy their economic interests and prosperity, they are happy. To hell with what goes on in your country. That's what the man mean there. May I ask this, Miss Harris? Who you got looking out for your interests, your prosperity as a people and as a nation? Jagdeo? Trotman? Ramjatan? Huh? Or Norton? Whose interest them looking out for? Norton, the new opposition leader, want more for we the people in this country from our oil. He write a letter before cock crow one morning asking the Kaieteur News to correct the headline, afraid to use the word renegotiation, but still want more out of the contract for the people of Guyana. You hear that? Refuse to use the word renegotiation. These leaders, Go Guyana, go! We going good. If Joe Biden can move the royalty rate what the Queen set donkey years ago from 12.5 to 18.5%. What else do we need to see, man? Americans, Chinese, Russians, Indians, Australians, Canadians, the British, everybody coming here, looking out and fighting for their interests in our country with our wealth. I love this, eh? How you like that, Miss Harris? Who looking out for our interests? Not in their countries, but in our country with our wealth. Eh? Who doing that for us? Which one of your leaders here doing that? Them busy looking out for their personal interests. Yes. Yeah, man. Yes, filling up their pockets and that of their family and their friends. Your government, our government jumping up and boasting about 8 hotels will start building later this year. We carried that story to a few days ago. Those hotels will bring money to the Guyanese people. Huh? No, uncle. Those are not Guyanese interests. Those are all the American and foreign interests. Yes, your oil money will be flowing through those hotels into their bank accounts in foreign lands faster than you can pour gasoline in your vehicle, in that old vehicle you are driving, uncle. They will be making 10 times the money yearly from your oil than what the entire country will be earning from that 2% and that 50-50 profit sharing. Yes, that is what Rex Tillerson talk about. You look out and protect your own interests and prosperity. Yes, the man who used to run ExxonMobil, he said that. Those are his words. We leaders boasting about how many airlines coming to Guyana now. And how the ticket can be cheap for the Guyanese people. These clowns. These clowns. You know, everybody telling me don't call them clowns. These morons, them. Let me repeat for the umpteenth time, uncle. The 8 hotels, the new airlines coming here, I don't know if it's 8 or 10, the money they will be fetching out from your oil is more than what you would be receiving, yes, from that 2% and the profit sharing alone. Whose interest Guyana's wealth serving there? May I ask that question? The white man interest? Who looking out for brown, black, and purple people interests of this country, Mr. Bernard? You know? Not certainly not Norton and Jagdeo. No. I don't know where is Harman now. You resign or they kick you out? He more look like he kicked both the two get kicked. Who authorizing these tickets? The oil companies them spending on these airlines. If you don't know, guys, let me educate you so you get a little understanding. 8 first-class tickets for the oil people with your oil money can pay the airline to fly to Guyana every day and make profit. You don't hear what I said there, man. Miss Harris? 8 first-class ticket by the oil people can make profit with the airline every day coming to this country. Wow. So they don't need you ticket money to make profit. Me and you, Miss Harris and Bernard, should charter an airline to come to Guyana tomorrow. Get 10 first-class tickets from ExxonMobil, and then, you know, me and you can give all them Guyanese ticket free to New York. They're not happy. Because the 10 first-class ticket alone, we good to go with. And Bernard is a pilot. Bernard, we don't have to pay much to American pilot. We pay you.
Definitely.
Right?
That's local content.
Yes. Wow. Wow. How about that, Mr. Jagdeo and Mr. Ali? You don't give us the authorization? This is what I'm talking about. Who's checking? Who's authorizing those bills? So basically your oil profits is going in the airline owner's pockets, uncle and auntie. That's where your oil profits are going. You remember they have to take out all of that, or up to 75% before profit is shared. Yes. And it is no different from the 8 hotels they are also boasting about building this year. No. All the oil people will be staying there. Every room will, man, Harris, one room will be $1,000 per night, filling the hotel owner's pockets with your oil money. Yes, through your oil money. Can me and you build one too? Huh? Can we get a piece of our own land free or next to nothing, the same way the leaders give away those foreigners building those hotels our land free or next to nothing too? Can we get a piece? I'd love to build a hotel tomorrow morning too.
Try.
Them inflated airline tickets, uncle, are already coming out with oil profits as expenses. Yes, presently now as I speak. And Bharat Jagdeo knows that. Let me tell you what he said. When Kaieteur News exposed the enormous cost of tickets the American airline was charging, comparing to Caribbean airline fares. Yes. Come back in 2019. First class ticket, Miss Harris, Caribbean airline was $900. And the American airline was $4,600.
Wow.
You hear that? You hear the difference there? $900 Caribbean airline. An American airline was $4,600. That's how we carried the story, man. That's how they milk your oil money in your oil country, uncle. Yes, they milk your oil money there. When that story was carried in 2019, Jagdeo was then the opposition leader. You know what he said, Miss Harris? The oil companies can't do Guyana that. All spending must be competitive. Nobody must be able to take advantage on us. Yes. Here is his exact words when he responded to that article we carried in the Kaieteur News in 2019, man. Listen to me carefully. Should there be a change in government, Guyana would not willingly pay for charges incurred by ExxonMobil for the use of American airline services. Jagdeo made his party's position clear as he responded to that question by my reporter at a press conference, yes, held at his Church Street residence. Jagdeo told the media that every cent, hear me, you hear this? Every cent that the government of Guyana has to pay in the cost oil mechanism must be for services that have been competitively procured.
Wow.
You hear that? Every cent that the government of Guyana has to pay in the cost oil mechanism must be for services that have been competitively procured. He said that there is the principle that should be followed by every government, and is definitely the principle that will be held and followed by the People's Progressive Party civic government. Jagdeo stressed there should not be any preference for individuals or companies. You hear his words, man? Jagdeo said that something as basic as air transport, to move people from one destination to another, such services must be competitively procured. Yes, uncle, competitively procured simply means to get the cheapest price. Yes, for the tickets. That is what he was talking about. You must go around and make sure you check around where you can get the cheapest price for tickets. And don't let nobody rob you. That's in a nutshell what a man said. Don't pay it. He's not going to pay it. Today, Bharat Jagdeo, he's in the driving seat, fully in command and in control, and has the opportunity to live up to all those wonderful promises he made just now. Where is his voice today? The situation gets 10 times worse as I speak. In every sector of the oil industry, not only in the airline industry. You hear me? Where is his voice today, Miss Harris? It gets worse. For example, let me give you an example. We are paying 55,000 American dollar a day. You hear me?
Yeah.
For one supply boat, whether the boat work or don't work, a day. That's 11 million Guyana dollar a day.
Wow.
Trinidad and Suriname are paid $12,000 a day. $1.2 million a day. Yes. To rent their supply boats. Same boat. Guyana pay 11 million. And we pay. And them two countries pay 1.2.
What is that?
Where is Jagdeo's voice on all of this? Like Exxon shout on him. Just like how them holler upon Norton and made him refuse to use the word renegotiation.
Allegedly.
Man, are you laughing this thing? This is why you can't get no profit, bro.
Exactly.
This is why the expenses is more than your profit. This is why they cannot take out all the expenses, because Guyana will get nothing. And they don't want you brown, black and purple people to feel that them a pump oil and I got nothing forget. So them only take out up to 75%. You hear the word? Listen to the word carefully. Up to 75%. You hear what I say? They're giving us, Jagdeo looking to get up to $2 billion insurance. That up to thing, it means you can get $1.
Exactly.
Yes. So you got to watch these words.
Yep.
These words they're playing with. Uncle, when the hotel money kick in, those inflated room rates will come out of your profit too. when it's when it's up and running, yes, you'll come out of the oil profit too. All those billions from the airlines and the hotels is not going in Guyanese people's hands. It's going in the hands of the foreigners. You remember what Rex Tillerson said? They're looking out for the interests and prosperity of their people. Yes. Right now as I speak, inflated expenses coming out from your profit with rentals in the housing, in offices, in trucking, transportation in general, brokerage. Man, you don't want to hear these expenses. What is going on is not advantage, uncle and auntie. It's wholesale skullduggery and robbery. Yes, of your oil wealth. Yes. What's supposed to give you a good salary? What's supposed to give you a good meal? What's supposed to make you live like king and queen? It's not going It's not coming for your interest and your prosperity. It's going for the foreigners, into their bank accounts, into their pockets, for their interest and their prosperity. Some of the trucks that work for the oil companies on the streets out there, Miss Harris, you know how much they're being paid? 100 and up. Minimum $100 an hour.
What?
Yeah, man.
What?
Fetching those pipe? More than $100 an hour. Betting the last dollar.
So they gotta work 5 hours to bring home a Guyanese person's salary. Monthly salary.
Our oil paid for it too.
We truck around the road whole live and Timmy to George and one load. Them can't make half of that.
Exactly.
What them people make in 1 hour. 1 hour. Half of what these people make in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Who own those trucks? Find out, uncle.
Not that.
I sit down taking a and I reduced the other day. I ain't gonna tell you here. And Argentina employee working outside at a ship demand a couple truck running in Guyana. I love this people. I love the interests we government have, man, in the oil sector. Wow. Wow, Miss Harris. Me people bring a whole truckload till from Timeri for $15,000. While we oil money paying foreign truck owners, hey, $100 and up per hour, uncle.
And they talk about local content.
I saw Timothy Tucker. Yes, the Chamber Commerce man spoke with the Stabrook News Sunday. He had on balling now, complaining how the oil company spending huge sums of monies, sidelining the Guyanese people. Man, I had to smile. I had to smile, the Chamber people waking up.
Laugh.
Well, at least, yes, them eyes slowly opening to what's happening. Uncle and auntie, the chamberman complain how ExxonMobil giving contracts to their own foreign people, paying them hefty US dollar for work what Guyanese people can do.
Yes, the government doing.
But he complained how the oil company give contracts for testing the oil workers for COVID. And that foreign company subcontract the work to we local lab. They found out that Guyana is paying, Miss Harris, $70,000 for tests, girl, for test one worker.
Wow.
Yes, that was Guyana spending to test one worker. Guess how much the Guyanese lab getting? $5,000.
God.
Can't remember, it's not the Guyanese lab getting contract. The contract was given to a foreigner, right? An American company. So the American company charging we oil money $70, but only paying we local people $5,000. So they're making $65,000. Or if they send the oil workers to Jajang Hospital, it's for free. You hear me?
Still getting the 70,000.
You hear me? All the money coming out of, how long now you have COVID?
2 years.
All the money coming out of your profit oil. Where is Mr. Jagdeo, man? He's still here in the oil sector? And where is Campton Norton? He's still around? I can call him and give him a shout tomorrow.
Clowns who can't check the bills.
The chamberman said he only see a bill, Miss Harris, for 15 tests. And it's over $1 million.
Somebody said, do you have proof?
Yeah, man, read it to the paper and meet the people. It's the chamber people saying that.
Exactly.
You know? And guess what, Miss Harris? I have no reason to doubt that.
In the Starbucks News, not a Kaieteur.
And not even the Starbuck News, not even Kaieteur News, Starbuck News report. Sunday, page 2, they can read it.
Yep.
Timothy Tucker. And they have a couple hundred workers working out there. 3 years now we got COVID. Testing in and out. That bill must be done gone past 100 million, Mr. Jagdeo.
Is anybody checking it?
Oh, Wait, you guys want to tell me Jagdeo and Norton them doesn't know that? Eh? He heading the sector. And that is the only bill. And that is not the only bill, I should say. we happen to see.
This is why we find it.
Right? Just imagine about the bills in the USA, in Canada, etc. Oh, that we can't even dream to see.
Exactly.
But that is how Jagdeo running the 50-50 oil business, checking nothing and just paying. Yes, you settle for 2%. Yeah, nothing as royalty. You have a 50-50 profit arrangement. And you man who heading the sector and your opposition leaders them, not verifying, checking, or authorizing these spendings. You know, these things get you sick when the day come, huh? It's a good thing I'm feeling a little better. Auntie, if the oil companies can bill us $70,000 for $5,000 COVID tests as oil expense, then imagine what they're doing to us with things that we cannot verify or check in the billions of American dollars. If these suckers so barefaced to charge us $70,000 to do a PCR test, Miss Harris, imagine what they're doing to us with those pipelines they're using out there. Maybe $40 million for one. I must tell you guys though, Bernard, these small bills adds up to a lot of millions in US dollars, you know, man.
Of course.
The billions of US dollars themselves are spending on those platforms, oh gosh, those bills, me and you can't see it. Not even Jagdeo can see it, much less authorize it or verify it. I am wrong. He's authorizing and he's verifying them. Friday I will talk a little on that. I'll show you guys what's going on there that he's authorizing. And you know why, Uncle? You know why you're authorizing them? Because those bills, why he's not authorizing those bills or can't see those bills are being kept overseas. You hear that, Bernard? All those bills are being kept overseas. If Jagdeo wants to check it or Guyana needs to check it, we have to buy the ticket, notify them and go overseas, Miss Harris, to go and check it. That's where they are keeping our bills, in which we have a 50-50 profit sharing.
Economic gurus, you have geniuses. We have geniuses of gurus.
Man, these are not clowns. These are not morons. You got to find other words. You know the chemicals they use out there? The price for them things is where all your profits going. When them done inflate them, you hear me? Gosh, you don't got profit to get. You see all them drill bits, what them say them using. Is that an ordinary drill bit, you know, Miss Harris? What a carpenter use. The drill bits they're using to drill the rocks under the ocean floor. Uncle, them drill bits cost in the hundreds of thousands of American dollars for one. You know how much them buying? You know how much they're blocking? Huh? You know how much they're throwing away? You don't know nothing. Yes. All your profits gone there alone on that one. Yes. Every single cent them inflate there runs up to billions of American dollars. Comes out from your oil money before they share the profit, Uncle. Yes. Hold on. All the expenses, you hear me? Like I said, does not come out every year. I have to repeat this thing. Only some does come out. You remember 75% this come out. And let me repeat this thing again. If all got to come out, then you got nothing to get. Nothing to get. And I swear, Almighty God, that this is the fact, because some of you may want to think that Glenn Lall, yes, talking Nancy story here is where the biggest con game in this whole sector begins and ends. The contract designed that way, uncle, to make you feel good, smell good and look good when they talk about 50-50 profit sharing. Everybody jumping for joy. Me, Editor-in-Chief Adam Harris does jump for joy. He's still jumping for joy until now with this 50-50 profit sharing. Every idiot in this country, including the morons that signed this contract, believe it's a good deal. Because some of them just talk to Adam and talk to people. Clive Thomas, the economist, write in the paper the other day that the naysayers can do more harm to Guyana. He was talking about Glenn Lall and some of these articles Kaieteur News carrying. Yes.
Wow.
These clowns.
Exactly.
You know, Miss Harris, this contract deal we signed,
Yep.
When people hear about profit, especially 50-50 profit, they go crazy.
Yep.
Yes. I believe Clive Thomas is one of them. They go out of their heads sometimes. My ex-editor-in-chief, Adam Harris, is one of them, man. Let me repeat it again. Just like those who signed the contract and those who are refusing to change the contract now. And many of you out there who thinking 50-50 is a good thing. Uncle, that's the reason the contract says them oil companies can only take out up to 75%. They can't take out more. So that they can give you that little dribblings y'all collecting every year. Like what Jagdeo said, it's only a couple $100 million we can get, and y'all will have to live with that for quite a while into the future. Like I said, again, if they take out all the expense every year, you have no profit to get, and your country will still owe ExxonMobil. Bharat Jagdeo them knows this more than everybody else. They know how to whine with the contracts to benefit only one side. So when you hear people talking that Guyana has a one-sided contract, they understand clearly the disaster that awaits this country and future generations.
Yep.
This is how many oil-producing nations end up in debts, Miss Harris.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Very true.
You got a half and half business with a partner, and you not checking to see what your partner doing, what he's spending, and how he's spending, man. Huh? You got to have something more than special with a man, Miss Harris. Huh? You understand what I'm saying, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Mr. Jagdeo went to Borbies and spoke to some people. This is only part of the nonsense he keep on preaching to the people without holding press conferences. Let me tell you what he said quickly. Marriott deputy head, causing upnew again, telling the people, yes, in 2015, they've been protesting the hotel. He didn't tell the people, until now, who are the private players in the hotel. He didn't justify the nation how that hotel cost $60 million American dollars and more. It's the most expensive hotel in the world. He didn't tell us that. And if you don't know, yes, the Burj Al Arab in Dubai more expensive than that hotel. Yes, that's same Marriott. He didn't cause the people and tell them anything about that in Barbies.
No.
Then he cussed the APNU again, saying how they claim PPP using the discovery of oil as a gimmick to win elections. And today, the people out of power still saying that them claiming the oil sector. He abused down the APNU again, man. How they went and signed a contract after them left office and want them to change it now. Yes. Yeah, we abused down the APNU and tell them, last week in Barbies. And say how did APNU want he to change them now. And he said, them have to find ways. He said he have to find ways and means how to get benefits from the oil companies, but not going to touch the contract. He said he doesn't want to violate the sanctity of the contract. Again, he got back with a word. He means to say that contract set in stone, set in signed in blood. I don't know who blood that contract signed in. Certainly not Jesus Christ's one. Certainly not his one. Now he drafting a framework. Now he telling people he drafting a framework for the future so that Guyana can benefit. When the gold spoon there, when the gold spoon there right in front of your face, yes, the contract that spells it out clearly, renegotiation can happen. He talking about what? He drafting a framework for the future so that Guyana can benefit. Renegotiate the contract, Jagdeo. Renegotiate the contract. That's what Guyana needs. In front of your face, uncle, let me tell you this. What are you getting from this man? Nothing but cuss down and abuse down. Abusing the PPP, the PNC all the time. Yep. And not renegotiating the contract. None of the time. I wanted to ask him again, is what he getting personally out of this oil sector, man, that this man doesn't want to renegotiate it? Huh? Come on, man. Guyana cannot go down the road of those African countries. We are there already. And we are just starting to, we have just started pumping oil. Don't let the oil cost befall the people of this country, Jagdeo. They don't deserve it. You and Compton Norton can do better, much better, far better than what you're doing. Stop going around this country mamagaying them poor people with your fancy language. They deserve a good life with honest leaders and good leadership. Leaders who will put their interests and prosperity first. Yeah, man. Stop telling this country about sanctity of contract. And I can call on the Guyanese people. Do not allow these people to come in your face. Uncle and auntie, do not allow these people to come in your face and bamboozle you with sanctity of contract. He tell the people how everybody want them to give the Guyanese people the oil money. The oil money, Mr. Jagdeo, belongs to the people of this country. It's not for you and your government to take and spend how you feel like on infrastructure projects in which 3/4 is being huffed out. No. Schools we can build for 100 million. Y'all spending 600 and 700 million. No, man, no. Roads that can build for 200 and 300 million is in the billions. What going on, man? 30 years your party and the coalition government have been slaughtering this nation with your deceitful, scampish and conniving ways in everything I do, man. The oil money belongs to the people. You collect, 700 million US 3/4 of that will be huffed out or siphoned off as you spend them. I will be showing, as you spend them, I'll be showing the Guyanese people how it's being siphoned off. And you telling this nation that you can't take 100 million out of that 700 million and give the people of this country a decent salary and a decent small piece in the house? Mr. Clive Thomas, the economist, you should comment on that. No comment on what some media house is doing. Or come on this radio, let's talk. I'm inviting you. I'll be exposing them things that do. You know, Miss Harris, Bernard, people like Mr. Jagdeo have outlived his usefulness, you know. He needs to be out in a corner.
Well, retire, exactly.
Yep.
Give him a rocking chair and let him relax.
Exactly.
Is every madness he invented as president, since he was president, Miss Harris, has been filtering in this land over and over, year after year. And everybody believe he's the best thing since sliced bread. Skeldon factory. We're going to produce sugar cheaper than the world. That never done. That never done. Sophisticated airport where y'all renovating there was Jagdeo initiative. They run down GPL while you're living in blackouts until now. Yes. Was the beginning of his presidency. Google and check how much billions spent there. Went through that for fix that. Until now. The stinking water y'all drinking at GWI all come from him. His leadership. The Amelia Falls Hydro Project and the new one, yes, was his baby. Up to today we discuss it because we're carrying a story tomorrow again on the new gas to show project. The Amelia Falls project back in 2006 was costing Guyana over 4 million per megawatt, when the whole world, Ms. Harris, was paying less than 1 million for the same project.
And that's progress.
Yes.
Development.
No, initiated by Jagdeo.
Exactly.
The one laptop we all get, Jagdeo. The Barbers Bridge, yes, why costing all the money? He not tell you if government have to pay, if they drop the price, we tax dollars have to pay to the private investors. Where are all these things there now? You see why I'm saying the man should relax? He is unhealthy for this country and our future. He said every cent they get out of the oil, yes, out of the oil money, they got to spend it to build a future while you and your children hungry, uncle. He and his party been building this country's future decades now. Where is your future today? Ta-da! Then he ended by telling the people how we don't want this country to suffer 10, 20 years, 30 years from now, like some oil countries who get oil money and spend it out. I had to laugh, man. What a Guyana you live in. This guy really looking out for your interests and prosperity. I got his words for you. Listen, play it for me now. Play it. Let the people hear it. In his own words.
You recall in 2015, Agnew Vulcan outside of the Marriott Hotel say when they were protesting the hotel that we built there, he said that the PPP was lying, that we didn't find oil and gas in the country. We were just using it as an election gimmick in 2015. Today they're almost claiming the sector. that it happened because of them. What happened after we left office is they went and signed a contract that we have to now live with, that is lopsided. And we now have to find ways and means of eking out more benefits from the engagements with oil and gas companies without violating the sanctity of the contract. And we're now crafting a framework for the future where more of the proceeds of the industry will come to our people and be used beneficially for our people. Now today you're hearing them say, oh, give every Guyanese X amount of money. They want us to now share more money to every Guyanese from the oil and gas sector that we have not even received as yet. But that's old APNU philosophy, and it sounds attractive. I've heard even some of our own people mention this, saying, oh, why don't you do that? Well, if we do that, we have to borrow to give out money again. And we cannot consume every cent that we receive. We have to spend the money to build the future. And that is why we made it clear in our manifesto when we campaigned between 2015 to 2020. We said that the money will be spent on education, on healthcare, and on infrastructure and assistance to the industries, non-oil industries. These are the 4 areas that the bulk of the resources will be spent on, so that we don't eat up every cent we earn now, that we can plan for the future, that this country will be prosperous 10 years, 20 years, 30 years into the future, and not suffer like some countries have suffered, where when they receive money from the oil and gas sector and they spend all of it out, and when the oil goes or the prices fall, they have huge amounts of poverty, or things start falling apart in their economy.
Yes, guys, you heard him. That was Jagdeo. 2 weeks ago, he went to Berbice, meeting people in groups, not facing the press, ducking, hiding, and talking all this crap. What he said? The APNU signed the contract, and he got to find means and ways how to eke out. Yes, how to eke out something from the oil and gas companies. Not ExxonMobil he's talking about, you know. He's talking about them little oil company were doing little work here. Miss Harris, this man is not for real. This guy is not for real. You see? Go ahead, you want to take the floor, go ahead.
Yeah, he's coming off like an outdated politician.
Yeah.
Many of them, they keep churning up these same things, the same boring. Oh, you gotta eke out this and eke out that. Why should we have to eke out anything if it belongs to us?
And beside
Who
that,
lives their lives like
beside that, he should stop going about telling people about sanctity of contract.
It's nonsense.
The contract did not sign with blood or sign in stone.
Exactly.
The contract can be changed, Mr. Jagdeo.
Yep.
The people want you to change it. Why you're not changing it? What are you getting out of it?
Contracts change all the time.
Come on.
Agreements change all the time. Like
Now Norton on the other hand and saying, but he didn't use the word renegotiation. Man, I'm getting tired of you guys.
It's a joke.
But we got to keep going. Ms. Harris, give me a moment. Let me just tell before you take the telephone call, Joshua.
Sure.
You know, let me end by telling the people this. Winston Brassington, the man was sued 19 times, and about 7 or 8 cases finished. I pay him the $30 something million. One case, the last case, I received a letter yesterday from his lawyer Timothy Jonas. Send me a demand letter stating that I must pay him $2,150,000. $2 million granted by Justice Carbon on one of the matter, and $150,000 for either court fees or lawyer fees. Threatening to seize the assets of the company or imprison me.
Oh my.
I am scared.
Exactly.
I am very scared, Mr. Winston Basington and Timothy Jonas. I am scared.
You look like you're shaking.
Yes, I'm shaking here.
Quivering.
Going to prison. Because I have no money to pay. I don't pay them 30-something million. Ramatara paid 25 million. And now, another 2 plus. I'm scared. So I'm going to lie down in prison. You know, I hope and pray that you enjoy. Enjoy the money. Glenn Lall become a milking cow, you know, Miss Harris.
You're just like these projects.
Yeah, man, I'm a 90 glasses.
You're the latest
Yeah.
milking cow.
Yeah, I've got milking. No, but when I read the letter, I said, Glenn Lall, your cousin Jagdeo, how you created milking cow all over. The man turned back and make me a milking cow.
Exactly.
I got 12 more cases with them. I've asked the court, you know, to consolidate them all and let her just try them and let her just tell me how much you got to pay them and let me go rob some bank or something.
Exactly.
I'm finished with them.
Sad.
Yeah, but I'm scared though. I'm scared of going to prison.
We're scared for you too.
Oh, Brassington, you doing your friend now, man? Timothy Jonas, you sending your friend to prison? I'm scared bad. If I, you know, I want to tell you. Anyway, namaste, guys. I'm going to take the phone calls.
Yeah, those numbers, if you wanted to get in touch with us in the studio, are 622-2222, and the other numbers are 226.
7453 226 7454.
Thank you very
Or
much.
624 6456. You can call on WhatsApp too, just in case you don't have credit. I know plenty of you don't have credit. Living in an oil-rich country.
And we don't have.
And you don't have credit in your phone. Mr. Jagdeo? Mr. Norton? Oh, Mr. Granger and Harmon. Ramjatan? Yes, an oil-rich country. Where is Clive Thomas? He should answer that.
I was going to say this thing about sanctity of contract. Like, people don't realize how many times contracts change. Like, for instance, when they decided to drop the VAT on the electricity or utilities,
Yes, VAT.
that was a change of contract.
Exactly.
Because one party gained and benefited. So we have a caller. Good night. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night.
Good
Night.
I want to get over 2 points very quick.
Go right ahead.
Shoot.
This case with ExxonMobil. How is it that you got me?
We're listening to you.
Yeah. How is it that ExxonMobil could take the being a third party in this matter at the court? Right. That's one.
Yeah.
And the second matter,
Raise it.
the corruption with this government, I think that we need to go to a referendum. You know, because this corruption is so big and great. It's so big and great in this country that for generations to come, we would be very poor.
This number.
Can you ask a question for Mr. Glenn Lall?
Thank you. Please turn down your radio when you call in so that we can hear you clearly. If you're on the line, you want to stay or you want to come off and let me see if I can answer your questions.
No, I'm half, Mr. Glenn Lall. I'm half.
All right.
Thank you.
Good.
You talk about a referendum.
Yes.
Yes, I do agree with you that the people of this country should have a say in such a major stake that befalls this country.
It will affect the children and grandchildren.
Exactly. We should not allow government, none of them. We should not allow both of them to make decisions for us. Because for too long we have seen in this land that that
Not in English.
governments that we have
Don't make it.
is not really a government with all its people making decisions. The government we elected most of the time in all the parties is one person at the helm makes all the decisions. In the case of the coalition government, David Granger, I believe this, was the man that have the say. Whatever he says, go. In the case of the PPP, what Jagdeo says, go. On to now. During his presidency, during Ramatar presidency, and during this presidency, what he says, go. In the case of the KFC, whoever the leader is, whatever they say, most of the time goes. So you don't have a collective body that makes decision in this country. You know, they're not open. And you know something I always boast about. I run this newspaper on a daily basis, and it's not what Glenn want or it's what Glenn say. Every story is being discussed by everybody, and we have a consensus on it. If they don't agree with a story, we throw it out. If I don't agree with a story, we throw it out. And it's vice versa. We battle it, and we vote on it too.
Stick up here, Mr. Glenn.
Yes.
Now, ExxonMobil is not paying no tax in this country. Right? Why the government didn't give them a 2-year tax even? Said, well, watch, you coming to invest, we know that you have to get back your money. Right? Give them a 2-year tax even and tax holiday, and then let them start paying the tax.
Stop right there. You're pushing it too far. You're pushing it too far. ExxonMobil is not investing any money in this country, brother. Don't let no one fool you.
Japanese bankers.
Okay? ExxonMobil is using Guyana's wealth. ExxonMobil took our oil blocks out there with the reserve we have sitting in them, pledge it at the bank, collect a few million, come doing the work here. Buy ship, buy drill ship, buy FPSO, buy rigs, and whatever. If you want to put a couple F in front of the rigs, that is what they do. And that is not ExxonMobil investment. Guyana is tasked with that responsibility to pay every cent back.
And the interest. Plus
And a fat interest that your government, both governments, shame to tell us on to now. That leads me to want to believe sometimes that some of my leader, them got them money invest out there, collecting fat interest. That's why me and you, the Guyanese people, can't know the interest rate Guyana is paying for those loans out there. So if you got a little money, you could probably give ExxonMobil to invest it out there and collect your money quietly in interest. So don't talk, but these people investing, and they should be given some tax holiday or tax waiver for a few morning. No. There hasn't been any kind of a substantial investment. Any one of the foreigners that sits in Guyana can honestly say they bring and invest in this country that deserve tax waivers and tax concessions. None of them. As for Aurora gold mine and plenty of the gold mines, they're here, they came here and get concessions. Use the concessions, bring in their stuff, do private jobs, make money, and they get all the concessions and art. The Guyanese people are not given the same treatment. So don't tell me no about that. On your question of why ExxonMobil had to jump into my court case.
Your private matter at the court.
Well, it's not a private matter. It's where I challenge my government as to the concession granted to ExxonMobil, not paying taxes, and I can't fight ExxonMobil. It's my government. I can't challenge Exxon. I challenge my government in the court because my government is the one who granted the concession to ExxonMobil. Lo and behold, Exxon saw that and decided to write the court, asking the court to be a party with the government to fight me.
But ExxonMobil should not have been a party in this matter.
Well, I am not the one to decide that. The court decided that, and the court says yes. I could tell you though, one of the arguments, right, that they put forward, and I laughed, and I would like to address the court if I can myself, to ask the court. They tell the court if because of their massive investments, right? If they hadn't gotten that tax waivers, they would have walked away from Guyana.
Don't have to prove that in court, it's a good thing. We don't have to prove it in court.
Exactly, they will have to prove that in
Show
court.
the massive investment.
All right, so I have no say over that, and my lawyers have no say over that.
No, that's a good thing.
They can apply to the court because they believe that they're a party to the matter. And I have no qualm about that, my friend. Don't worry about it. We'll fight it. We'll fight it. We'll fight it. It's just that I take offense when they say I have no right to go to court on this tax concession. There is past me. Anything else?
No, that's okay.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
And thanks for your contribution. Yeah.
Glenn, you mentioned the government boasting about airlines coming to Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've been to Dubai, right? Mm-hmm. The Emirates Airlines is one of the most profitable in the world. In 2015, they made over $1 billion in profit, and it's a state-owned airline. So our government, instead of getting an airline that gives money to the Guyanese, they give all the foreigners to make all the hundreds of millions of dollars. And not only that, in 2019, Emirates celebrated their 31st year of making profit as an airline.
Bernard, that is the first thing I talked about, and many people have spoken about that. These airlines should have never been allowed to come here.
Yes.
Guyana should have sold them oil blocks, right? Make deals with the oil blocks. We would have had enough money to buy 10 airplanes,
Glenn,
and have it here making money for the people of this country,
That's right.
for their interests and their prosperity. Instead, these financial gurus we have, like Clive Thomas now put him out in it, and Jagdeo them, and Winston Jordan them, give away the approval to American and other foreign airlines to come here to milk Guyana oil money.
yeah, well,
Yes.
well, Emirates Airlines started in 1985 with 2 airplanes. 2 airplanes to start with. And to that clown who was a former minister who you're talking about, I have a message for him. We are not a noise and nuisance brigade. We are fighting for the Guyanese rights. We are fighting for Guyanese people. We are fighting for poor Guyanese who don't have enough food to eat, right? And we make noise here. We make noise, constructive noise. You are a minister of government. What did you do? What can you say? You
No,
do
he
to the
wasn't a
poor?
minister. Clive Thomas wasn't a minister.
He wasn't?
No,
He wasn't Minister of
Clive-
Agriculture?
No, Clive
He
Thomas.
was in charge of Gaisugo?
No.
He was part of the government, I know for sure.
No. Clive Thomas used to head SARA.
Okay.
Right?
But he was part of the government. and what
Clive
he did to
Thomas,
people.
Clive Thomas was the man that in charge of SARA who were investigating the Kaieteur and the Kanji oil blocks when the coalition government go in there, in which Phillips, who was heading the investigation into the 2 blocks, while he was investigating the two oil blocks,
Was by
to get it back for the Guyanese people to sell and make money, he had his eyes on the last
Black
oil
Sea-
block
Black Sea.
Guyana got. That's how he was fired. Is Kaieteur News exposed this story, right? And Mr. Granger fired him, dismissed him. At the same, Clive Thomas was heading it. They were, a matter of fact, what Clive Thomas should tell the country is where is that investigation he was heading? Who are the players? Who are the beneficial owners of the Kaieteur and Kanji oil block, Mr. Clive Thomas? You should tell the nation that.
That's that juicy piece of information, which they did find out, because I happened to come across that information from some of the same people who were investigating it. So these people are known criminals that the Granger administration sat down on and never took any action. They know exactly who all of those people are.
So they have their own skeletons in the closet that they want to bring it out, so that's why they're not saying a thing.
Caller, good night. Welcome. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Good night.
Good night.
I got a few words to say, but not much. But what I hear you talking about the contract and white job, you read Mr. Easy said it. But Mr. Bernard, you got to understand, right? That is in spite of what you tell. These people, the PDP ain't getting power, so yes. These Americans fight to put PDP in power because no, but when PDP gets in power, what the people. So the PDP committed to these people. They owe these people. It means that they have to subdue to these people because PDP didn't get in power just.
Can you hold a second?
The PDP want a free figure.
Wait. Can you hold a second, my friend?
Yes.
I don't want to get into a ding dong with politics and elections, who win from who you win. Let's stay out of that. Whether who win or who have been sitting there, my friend, listen to me carefully. Both parties at present, the PPP, the coalition and the AFC, can bring about a change to what is happening in the oil industry at present. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
So let's come off this crap about who PPP put in and who PNC. No, come off that.
No, I ain't talking about PSC. I'm saying that PDP, these Americans fight.
Speak up, let me hear him.
No, we offer that topic, sir. We're not.
Let me hear him, man. Raise it for him.
He's back to the American story.
We as guys
Go ahead.
stop that stupidity.
Go ahead.
Mr. Bernard, if I fight to put you as a foreman on a job, it means when you get on that job, you owe me an obligation. You got to give me an easy. Yes.
Hold again. Again, I'm telling you, whether you fight for me or you fight for who, or you didn't fight for me, I am saying to you loud and clear, and I want you to understand me clearly, brother.
I understand what you're saying, but
All the parties, whether you're in government or you're out of government, can bring about a change, but none of them putting their heads to do it. So you cannot blame one.
I agree with what you're saying, but just think about it, why the changing coming. I just don't want
I hear you clear. I want you to hear me clear. Thank you. Anything else? Good. I want the gentleman to understand me clear, man. This thing ain't got nothing to do with PPP, PNC, or AFC, or KFC.
We can forgive them for the past, but they have to stand and defend the Guyanese people and stand up for the Guyanese people now. That's what we look forward to now.
Yeah, but Bernard, if we continue go down the road, blaming,
No, that's what I'm saying.
blaming this one and blaming that one, and blaming who put this one, we will never get nowhere.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
am saying that the PNC, the coalition, they made a big blunder. They signed away 600 Isle Black and give ExxonMobil when they're only supposed to get 60. That 540 Isle Black could have sell, and Guyana could have been rich already. Every house should have been getting a couple $1 million in a home every month already from that alone. Then they're going to sign the contract and sign it for 2% and 50-50 profit sharing. And now you're telling me about American put in the PPP. No, let's talk about the coalition did that. The PPP can change that. They have the power to change that. And the coalition can come again and say, well, we made a mistake, let's change it.
Exactly, and they're not.
Right? Aubrey Norton says he wants more from the oil contract. And he afraid to talk about, use the word renegotiation.
How are you going to get more?
So you need to understand, my friend, where these leaders have you. The coalition supporters, the PPP supporters, and the AFC supporters. They're playing games with your head.
Exactly.
And got you confused.
And fight your fellow Guyanese.
And you're fighting among each other. And you're playing games with race and games with politics. No, man, come off of it. They all can bring about a change. Do you know that the opposition, the coalition, have so much power that they can summon ExxonMobil to Parliament and question them and ask them anything they want.
And they have to answer.
And they have to answer. The law provides for that, my friends. My Guyanese brothers and sisters, auntie and uncle, coalition government has the right to sanction and call on ExxonMobil. Come to Parliament. We have questions for you. We need you to answer here. We need you to tell us, well, why are you charging us this money and that money? But are they doing that? No. So there you go. Let's don't blame one. Let's fight and see how we can get them both to sit together, and let's work this thing so that we can get our fair share, brother. All right?
Yeah, but Glenn,
Any other phone call?
Glenn, our politicians are not interested in that. You read the article your reporter said the other day when she went to the open back of Parliament, all they keep repeating in the past who stole what and who did that and who, that's all they keep saying.
Yes, that's what I do.
It's sickening.
Yes.
Let me, Glenn,
One second, let me take this call. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Quickly, the former ambassador from Kuwait, Dr. Shamir Ali, you wrote a wonderful letter the other day.
Yes.
And he says how much money Kuwaiti citizens get. The Kuwaiti
Yeah.
citizen, every man receives $3,000 a month, every woman $1,600 a month, and every child $818 a month. Every single month a bank wire transferred into the bank accounts of every single Kuwaiti. Right? We in Guyana have almost as much oil right now as Kuwait. And what are we getting?
You then getting 1,600 Guyana dollar or 3,000 Guyana dollar. You hear
The
me?
population of Kuwait is 4.2
Yes.
million people.
Yes, I read the story and I
Kuwaiti citizens who are born citizens.
exactly,
Oh.
exactly.
The rest of workers do not work.
Workers.
A matter of fact, I can go.
Good.
I can go a little further than that,
Kuwaitis don't work.
Mr. Bernard. The Kuwaitis are given free wedding. All expenses are to being the government pay for it, and they are allowed to go on vacation 3 and 4 times a year. Yes, sir. Good evening. You're live on the air.
Hi, Mr. Glenn.
You're the last caller.
Quick question. Mr. Aubrey Norton was here in New York, in America, 2 weeks ago, and we understand that he met with ExxonMobil executive here in America. I would like for him to tell the people what transpired between him and the ExxonMobil hierarchy. And the next question is, our vice president and president went to Berbice, and they promised that they're going to build stadium, airport, shopping malls, and the whole 9 yards. I don't know where they're going to build this and how they're going to get the money to build this, and if it's going to be a milking cow like the international airport they have.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Wow. You know, I didn't do a program Friday and Monday, and all this
Look what
time and so long, I've been off. There's so much things that I want to talk about. I'm so happy that the gentleman called and talk about playground and mall and the airport. They got an airport they can't done. My gosh. Yeah, but this is how, these are the type of projects they're initiating.
Yep.
I told you guys, man, these people wake up every morning and what comes to their mind? Oh, we're going to do this.
Wickedness,
And
extortion.
no, they're going to do this.
The money is spent on put a build tree airport.
And the people who are there, who they're going to talk to, they're so excited when you hear, oh, we get in the airport, and oh my God, I'm so sorry for these
Many
people.
of them couldn't even afford a plane ticket to enjoy the airport. So why are
You got airport where you can't use.
Well, you can't even go into.
Right.
You're celebrating that.
You're talking about mall.
Look
Yeah.
at the toilet.
They're talking
You
about
have no
call
money to buy
centers.
anything,
Oh
yeah.
my
Toilet at
God.
the airport.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep. That's progress.
Mr. Ali and Mr. Jagdeo should fix the toilet at the airport. The CJIA, sophisticated international airport.
Yep.
Yeah.
International
Man,
hub.
my friend, I don't know what to say with these people,
It's a hub, we
but
get it hub.
this is how the oil money will be spent.
Progress.
And that is what they call progress. A set of white elephants This same airport will become a white elephant. Like I was to talk about Sri Lanka. Oh my God, there's so much things you want to talk about, but you're not getting enough time, right? You talk about Aubrey Norton went to and meet ExxonMobil. Well, he hasn't put out a statement. I hope if he's back or when he's back, he put out a statement. But I'll ask my reporter to make contact with him to ask him what was the.
There are rumors circulating.
No, it wasn't. What benefits can we expect out of ExxonMobil, having met with them as the opposition leader? And you have said you're looking to get more out of the oil contracts for the people of this country. With that, guys, it's 9 o'clock. Hands are showing to get off. I just want to say namaste again. Good night and God bless all of you. I'll see you on Friday.
Ciao.